gentlemen, please welcome Regional Vice President Europe, Edouard Gug.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's with tremendous pleasure that I welcome you to this 2021 ASEA Europe virtual conference. I would like to start by expressing my gratitude towards all of you being with us today. We are joined by our ASEA associates from all around Europe and even from other regions of the world. Of course, I was supposed to welcome you in the beautiful city of Budapest and meet in person. But this period had different plans for us, and we feel very fortunate to be able to come together this way. If this is not your first ASEA event, you did hear our founder Tyler Norton talking about the power of gathering. One of the things we miss the most is the opportunity to be together. In network marketing, yes, the marketing and the products are important, but the networking and the people are even more important. And I hope that you and your families are safe and getting through this difficult time as best as you can. And I hope that you can feel the power of gathering in this new way. Again, I'm very proud to be with you this afternoon to celebrate all together fantastic achievement and share with you the opportunity, the lifestyle, and the culture of ASEA in our mission to have a positive impact in the world. And I would like to thank particularly our focus group member and the ASEA Europe corporate team. Thanks for having adapted and pushed boundaries to deliver you today engaging and innovative content and make us connecting virtually. Indeed, adaptability is a key in our world and even more in the period we are living in. The world is changing constantly and even faster over the previous months. And I would like to share this quote with you, a Chinese proverb which circles the message I want to deliver today. A wise man adapts himself to circumstances as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it. And starting from March 2020, in most of Europe, it was all about being able to adapt to changes. Not only for you as associate or for us as corporate, because traditional ways of building a network marketing business were questioned, but almost all the people and all the industries were impacted. So let's take a moment to zoom out. Adapting to the situation we are in is even more a need now, but is not something which should be unusual. And I would like to take a minute to share about my experience. I started to work in France in the catering industry, and I was a business developer. My job was to sell catering solutions for big companies. And in this industry, we talk about contracts in millions of euros. So you do not sell every day, and you are happy when you have one new contract per year. And back in the days, at that time, I was 22, and I was dealing with executives. They were 22 as well, but not in age, in years of experience. I was brand new, it was the first job after my studies, and I had no experience. And the people I was supposed to sell those catering solutions to, they had nothing to learn from me about the basics. So when the traditional way of doing things is not working, but you still want and need to be successful, what do? The only way of success is to be innovative, to think out of the box, and to adapt the situation in order to create a growth culture. And guess what? It did work. And the key is to create a competitive advantage. The great news here with ASEA and our technology is that one key competitive advantage already exists. Are we sure that what we have in hands can be useful to everyone? There is no doubt that the answer is yes. But does everyone is sympathetic to the same argument? No. Everyone has its own why. And one of the key to be successful is to have the ability to listen to people, to listen actively and define their why. And because we live in a fast-changing world, the why of today can be different than the why of yesterday. And I encourage you to challenge what you are doing. I encourage you to take the time to zoom out and think about your approach. Do I listen enough about the why before talking about ASEA to someone? Am I sure to use the right angle? Is my approach targeted enough? In other words, do I adapt myself enough to the current situation? And I want to share another example which can inspire us today on why adaptability is a key. And especially during times where we have the impression that our potential cannot be fully expressed. I'm a big sports fan, and I'm always amazed how sports has the capacity to gather so many people for a single and unique objective. It is in this way very similar to the ASEA mission. I think many of you know those two tennis players, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. They are two legends of these sports. Rafael Nadal was 19 in 2005 when he won his first Grand Slam title. Grand Slam are considered as the best tournament in the world of tennis. Roger Federer himself was 21. This was in the year 2003. And both of them still won Grand Slam titles 15 years after their first title. This was last year for Nadal and in 2018 for Federer. As a comparison, a professional career of tennis player usually lasts 10 to 12 years, and you can be on top for some years only. For those two players, we already talk about more than 20 years and 15 at the top level. Are they the most talented? The answer is no. Are they the best server? No. Do they have the best forehand or backhand? No. Do they run today as fast as in their 20s? Of course not. But are they still successful despite the changing environment and new competitors? The answer is yes. And what we can learn from their incredible career is that it is not the strongest who will have continuous success. It is the one that is most adaptable to the situation and changes. And here is the parallel with our industry of network marketing. The same way tennis players need to adapt their playing style and strategy to the conditions, the basics of network marketing need to be reassessed. No big gathering can happen. And the only way to success is to adapt to the situation, to be creative, to be innovative, and to use new tools. And we have good examples. One of the most impressive is our friend and leader Zoltan Varnay. Zoltan reached the ambassador diamond level during the lockdown period. Why? Because he adapts and he has a successful online strategy. And some recent research by the New York Times showed that Facebook usage has grown by 27% during the pandemic. So people got used to chat online instead of going to parties. And this has changed customer behavior. And with ASEA, you have an opportunity you can share from home. And I encourage you to take advantage of the ASEA Connect app. You can choose the right channel, you can understand and target your audience, you offer interactivity and personalization. And this is a great tool to adapt to the current situation. What I can share with you is that after many years in sales and a lot of travels and meetings, I believe that people have a fundamental desire to control their lives, to control their future. And this is universal. Of course, the way to success does not follow a trend line, but you need to be a mover to be successful. You need to take action. Of course, you need to be prepared, but no one is never 100% ready. And one of the greatest things in action is that if you need to be 100% ready before you move, you will never win. And in this case, perfection is the enemy of the good. You should not be afraid of making mistakes when starting to develop an ASEA activity. You should not be afraid of the consequences of errors. Everyone is doing mistakes. Everyone is doing mistakes when starting something new. But mistakes allow you to be better. And the greatest mistakes is to not move. Not moving and engaging now to develop an activity with ASEA would be seen as a missed opportunity. And network marketing has a very strong history of growth during economic slowdown. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the limitation we had in 2020, it was a fantastic year and a fantastic growth for ASEA in Europe. And I feel very privileged to partner with all of you, and I have no doubt that this success will continue. Not only this year in 2021, but in the long-term run as well. And I want to address a warm thank you to all of you. Thank you for pushing boundaries. Network marketing and ASEA can change people's lives, and I invite you to learn more during the breakout session. Those breakout sessions will be available right after the corporate program, and they will stay available for the next 30 days. But before this, I would like to invite 3 special people to share some words about what they did to adapt to the situation. I have the pleasure to introduce Zoltán Varnay, Ambassador Diamond, Cecil Anderson, Triple Diamond, and Mijo Charmeton, Triple Diamond.
Tough times doesn't last, tough people do. This is a very, very smart saying. I always remember this when it's a difficult situation is coming. And we never had COVID-19 before, so it was a brand new experience for all of us, even for me. But I knew that any difficult situation, there is always a winner team. Then some people make advantages of the difficult times, and then they squeeze a lemon juice out of the lemon. So I knew when the COVID-19 was coming, some group of people, they complained that the economy is down and people losing their job and people don't have money to buy supplements like ASEA, but I knew that the other group also exists, that they were looking for escape from the situation. They are the one who try to find a solution, how they can increase their chance to keep going on live and then make success in business or make success in life general. So I kept focused on those people. So those people who I felt that they have a negative thinking, I just wish them good luck, and I didn't waste my time with them. I didn't try to convince people when I had that feeling that they are in a negative thinking group. So I was focused on those ones who are looking for a solution. And then the positive thing, what I found out that when was before COVID-19, a lot of people didn't show up. Even they booked an appointment on online meeting. They didn't show up because they had to stay in the job longer. They were late coming home, so they couldn't make it on time. So we had a lot of no-shows. Now, with the COVID-19, I knew that a lot of people stuck home. So I really had that kind of hope that much more people will show up. And actually, this is exactly what happened. And then we just kept doing the presentations, and we were growing and growing. So I'm really, really happy that I was focused on the positive way of thinking, and this is what I recommend to everybody. Please do and search on Google difficult times. A lot of mega successful company they started. So for example, Apple as well, and a lot of other companies. So just always the way how you think that situation, if it's going to be okay, you will succeed. If you complain and then you don't do any action, of course the situation will be tough. So tough times never last, tough people do.
Hello. I think it's fair to say that 2020 was a year like no other year for the world, and by default also for the network marketing industry and ASEA. So when they asked me to share how hard it was for me to adapt to a new situation due to COVID-19 and how I managed to stay focused in this time, I have to admit I was struggling a bit with what to say. But I think the answer must be that I tried to embrace change. We have often heard that success in our business requires consistency. The one consistent thing in our lives is change. John F. Kennedy once said that change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. I believe this is the truth about last year and what happened to a lot of people. We all faced some of the same challenges, and it was very interesting to observe how some people looked at the glass as half full and others looked at the exact same glass as half empty. For me and leaders in my team, we experienced the lockdown as being an awakening. In an industry and business that is always evolving, the global pandemic spurred us to be more creative and more inventive than before. We did more online meetings, we explored new ways to get in contact with people, we did new kinds of presentations, and we did all kinds of time zones. And we really stepped out our comfort zones. Not everything we tried was successful, and I can assure you that there has been plenty of lessons learned along the way, but also things worth celebrating. It has been absolutely fantastic to see how people that accepted the challenge of change has learned and grown both personally and business-wise. You know, Jim Rohn says, your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Change can come in our lives as a result of a crisis, as a result of choices, or just by chance. In either situation, we are all faced with having to make a choice. Do we make the change or not? I encourage you to choose to be the change for yourself and for people you meet in 2021. Enjoy the time at Envision, and I hope you will bring something home that will help you impact your change in 2021.
Hi everybody. First of all, I would like to thank ASEA for giving us the opportunity to attend a webvention while the current situation doesn't allow us to have a live event. We have followed the same track during 2020 to maintain a high level of activity. We have increased the frequency of our Zoom meetings. During the lockdown, we have reached a peak rate of 1 Zoom meeting a day. In addition, we have set up motivating challenges of our associates, such as 100 euros prize for organizing a personal Zoom meeting with as few as one enrollment with a minimum of 150 PV. We are blessed for working with an outstanding company who provides solutions despite economic turmoil. Do not miss this fantastic webvention. Get on board. ASEA is the best vehicle to change your life.
Thank you. I invite you to learn more during the breakout sessions, not only from Cecil, Mijo and Zoltan, but also from our top global leader and Presidential Triple Diamond, Trish Schwenkler, Ambassador Diamond, Raidoun Bohn, Triple Diamond, Christina Williams, Double Diamond, Martin Zucki, Diamond, Morten Andersen, Platinum, Julian Lee, Gold, Ali Spee, and Silver, Janina Litvak. Do not miss those inspiring stories and business trainings. Ladies and gentlemen, over 10 years ago, we set up the entity of ASEA. But 10 years later, we no longer have just an entity. We have something much more valuable. As we move into our next decade of growth, we know exactly who we are. We have a very clear and unique identity, and we plan to be more bold, declarative, and clear on this identity as we move forward. These are our strategic advantages. This is what makes us different from everyone else. We are legacy. Sometimes it's good to take time and to rethink where we are coming from because it gives you perspectives. In today's world, we tend to live day to day. We look at figures, we look at the last Facebook post, the last tweet, and this feeds us with distraction. So I invite you to listen to our founder, Tyler Norton, and remind ourselves that we are part of something bigger, a long and beautiful mission to have an impact on people's life. We are innovation. We know more today about our technology and what it represents than ever before. We can see into a future of innovative product platform that will continue to keep you at the leading edge of a crowded wellness industry. We are innovation with a technology well before its time. And with that 10-year lead, we will continue to innovate as we move into our next 10 years. And we will have the pleasure to have our president with us, Jerome Webb, and also our Chief Marketing Officer, Gina Hansen. We are opportunity. At ASEA, your business can break through borders. And I am delighted to introduce you to our Chief Revenue Officer, Jörg Höscher, and our Senior Key Account Manager, Renda Limburg. They will zoom into some exciting announcement and the potential of the ASEA opportunity for you. We are ethos. The ASEA movement as a soul. ASEA as an ethos. And we have made a clarifying, teaching, and sharing of this ethos a high corporate priority since the very beginning of this company. And our ethos is reflected in the work that our ASEA Advancing Life Foundation accomplishes. And I invite you to listen to the ASEA CEO, Chuck Funky, about the impact ASEA has besides the product and the financial opportunity. The ASEA ethos is also to put people first. People matter the most. And we want to recognize you for your amazing achievements. And you will have the pleasure to hear from our Senior Event Manager, Madis Fala. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you can expect within the next hours. I hope that today inspires ideas, and I hope that today inspires action. Thanks again for pushing boundaries. I applaud and I respect your hard work, your creativity, your professionalism, and above all, your dedication to ASEA.